Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Meadowbrook Kid. Today our ponder point is God gives rest. We're going to learn about the importance of rest. Even God rested on the seventh day of creation. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but he did. All right, and so we're going to learn the importance of resting today. But we're going to work our new Remember verse. All right, we got a brand new one. This one's a short one this time, so I know you guys can get it. If you guys had trouble with the last one, you guys can do this one. Our Remember verse is this. John 17:3. Now this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. John 17:3. All right, that's our verse. Start working on it. All right, if you memorize it, put a comment down there. Send me a video. All right, I want to see that you guys have had this verse memorized. Now let's go into our Connect question because this has to do with our lesson. All right. Our Connect question is this. What is your favorite way to relax? Ooh, that's a really good question. There's lots of ways I like to relax. One of them is going on vacation. I love going on vacation because it's lots of fun. We get to play mini golf and you get to sleep in, you get to see lots of new sights. But if I'm not going somewhere, if I'm just staying at home, the best way for me to relax is to sit down and read a nice book in the shade under a tree. That's a really, really good way for me to relax, is to read a book under a shade tree out in the middle of summer. All right, and that's how I like to relax. All right, I'd love to hear how you guys like to relax as well. Well, we're gonna go to our game now, so I hope you guys like it, and stay tuned for our lesson afterwards.
Have you ever broken a rule? I usually like to follow the rules, I promise. But sometimes I come across some really silly rules that make absolutely no sense. And because they make no sense, all I want to do is break them. Across the world, there's these crazy rules. In Singapore, it's illegal to chew chewing gum. In Venice, Italy, it's illegal to feed pigeons, those cute little animals. Some rules can seem a little silly. And in the big God story today, it's all about a time when Jesus was accused of breaking a rule. You see, God gave the Israelites 10 incredible commandments when they left Egypt. These commandments were things like love God, don't steal or murder or honor your parents. They're all really good laws. One of them that we're going to focus on today was the fourth commandment: keep the Sabbath day holy. That might seem like a strange command that doesn't make much sense to us, but to the Israelites, it reminded them about creation. Keep the Sabbath day holy. See, when God created the world, he did it in 6 days. God did a lot of work in 6 days, but then he did something interesting. He rested. God didn't rest because he was tired. He rested as an example for you and me. You see, God was showing us that it was important to take 1 day a week and rest. For the Israelites, they observed this Sabbath day on Saturday, which is the last day of the week. They would rest on this day and take time to worship God. And many years passed from when God gave the commandment to when Jesus came to earth. And in that time, many people had taken God's commandments and they'd added some of their own rules. In fact, they'd added a lot of rules about the things that you could do and the things that you couldn't do on the Sabbath. But God gives rest. God desires for us to be healthy and well rested so we can give our best for him. He gave us one law about following the Sabbath because he knew it would be good for us to have rest. But the religious leaders, they'd all added their own rules, which just made it more difficult to have rest. In the big God story today, Jesus is with the disciples and it's the Sabbath day. They're walking through some grain fields. And because some of the disciples were hungry, they were taking a few grains of wheat from the side and they were eating it as they went. Unfortunately, the people who had created all of these extra rules about the Sabbath saw what the disciples were doing, and they accused them of breaking the law by picking of the wheat, because they said that was working. Isn't that ridiculous? All they'd done is walk and pick up a little bit of grain and eat it, and yet that was considered breaking the rule. Jesus was quick to remind the religious leaders that what matters most to God is his people. In Mark 2:27, Jesus said, "The Sabbath was made to meet the needs of the people, and not people to meet the requirements of the Sabbath." Jesus meant that God gives us a day to rest for our good. It's not so we could just obey a lot of rules about the day of Sabbath. But it wasn't quite finished there. See, Jesus and the disciples went on and they went to the synagogue to worship. And just like we go to church on service, they went there to worship on the Sabbath. The religious leaders were also there and they tried to trick Jesus. When Jesus saw a man whose hand was deformed, they asked him a trick question to get him in trouble. They said, "Does the law allow a person to work a healing on the Sabbath?" They felt like it was too much for someone to work that much to heal someone on the Sabbath when they were supposed to be resting. But again, Jesus reminded them that what really matters to God is people. He told them that imagine if your sheep or your animals were hurting and are having trouble on the Sabbath, wouldn't you heal them and save them? And surely a person is more valuable than them. That's what Jesus told them. People are valuable to God. Jesus said that the law allows us to do good on the Sabbath, and then he healed the man. The religious leaders were so mad with what Jesus had done that they plotted to kill him. What we learn from this story is that God gives rest. God cares about you more than anyone else. That's why he gave us a whole day to rest. Jesus even said, "Come to me, all who are weary or carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." So however you are feeling today, remember God gives rest. You can always go to God in prayer, and he will always answer you by giving you rest.